We are the only LCMS congregation in 8 counties in the northwestern corner of North Carolina. So we really are in a frontier territory here. So in 41, I think, was the first Walther League camp we had here. And at that time, there was just the one building that's over 100 years old, had been used before. The church I was serving, Grace Lutheran in Durham, I had a lot of kids that wanted to go to a servant event. First time we'd ever been to a servant event. And at the last minute, I had too many people. And I knew about this camp a little bit. We had been here for some retreats, but that's all. So I called up here to the Tirsa Lane, the camp manager, and the pastor at the time, Dennis Quackenboss.
One summer, Pastor Brian wanted to bring some of his youth up, and they rented the retreat center. And he did his own little servant event with his youth. And I was very impressed with all the work they were doing and the places they were going. And so I sat down with him at the end of the week and I said, if I can convince the board of directors to let us have a week, fill this camp with teenagers, would you help me pull it off? And he said, absolutely. Within 3 years of the first servant event week, it filled up, I believe it was in 2 days. So I went to the board and said, we need to do another week.
The servant event, first of all, helped the camp have a connection with this community. And then the congregation had always been a very generous congregation, but there had not been that kind of a connection with the community.
We used to have people pour into us as campers in middle school week and preteen week. And then when it got to high school, it's like, oh, we get to go out into this community that we've grown up in during the summers, and we get to pour into them and serve them. And that was just a really cool change for me.
If there's going to be a year-round congregation here, what was needed is to winterize the chapel, to provide office space, to provide fellowship hall space, and to provide a better entrance to the camp, to the property, if this is year-round. The chapel was winterized, the offices were built, the Mountain View room was built, the bridge never got built in. So the idea was always to get back to that. The property is bordered by the Linnville River, and part of that original purchase is this river plain that we're in, because the river is on one side of the property and on the other side, and takes a big loop around us. To get into the property, you've got to go over the river. So when the river's flooded and no water in here, there's no access into the property.
So we, as LCEF, saw the opportunity to partner with Mountainside Lutheran and Camp Lynn Haven. You have a location here that's on a floodplain, and help them overcome the challenges that really truly allow us to be the ministry partners and that we need to be.
And that's when Kirk Himes said, well, you know, good thing it's the LCEF, because not only can we give you a construction loan, we can give you a debt retirement loan. And at that point, we owed about $120,000. All our property was encumbered, so we had no collateral basically to bring to the table. Well, would the LCEF approve the original $500,000 loan for the bridge and this additional $120,000? And it was like, yeah, of course we will. So what that meant was, when we finally signed the loan, all that got paid off. We owned the bank nothing, and all this collateral can be offered to LCEF, and that's what made the loan go forward. So the bridge is a connection for people coming to Camp Lynn Haven, for people coming to Mountainside Lutheran Church. It really is always a miracle crossing that God has gathered His people.